So after that dramatic finish in bout one, we come up to our second bout of the evening here. Once again, amateur MMA over three 3-minute rounds. And Dom Colossus from Essex, very busy young man indeed, Gary.
Yeah, he's picking up fights up and down the country. He turns his hand to a lot of white-collar boxing. Relatively new to the MMA, but he claims he has a jiu-jitsu background, so it's going to be interesting to see how he can implement that coming up against such a great fighter who's got disciplines in all areas. So it's going to be an interesting one.
That's it, and that's the good thing nowadays is fighters can get a lot of experience outside of their traditional discipline. MMA fighters are going into boxing, white-collar boxing, just to hone their skills and get that extra experience. And what really counts for them is this: when they're here in the cage, they use that other disciplines simply for that experience.
Yeah, I mean, Dom, we're going to see here with Dom, how can he implement it? How is that white-collar background, how's it going to help him? And I'm looking forward to this one. And Andy Bear, who he's due to face, another Olympians fighter, and we can see from the first fight they breed some top fighters in that gym.
Well, as you said, when you've got a gym with pedigree there, your sparring first and foremost goes through the roof there, because obviously when you've got good sparring partners, your confidence is built. And a lot of the top clubs like Olympians, when it comes to your debut or your second fight, they don't want you to fight anyone that you haven't already fought as hard in your own gym.
Exactly. So I think this is a well-matched fight. This is a good fight for Bear, who's about to make his entrance now.
And again, a good pop from the crowd for the Olympians from Bristol, but a good crowd down with them. And as Gary said, he's making his debut here tonight, Andy Bear, but a man that we were talking about earlier, very good across a number of disciplines, so he's very well schooled.
Yeah, having had the chance to meet with Andy Bear, he's trained in many disciplines over the years. He's turned his hand to boxing, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, and it's the first time he's able to actually implement them all together. What better stage for him to do it than tonight at Rage UK?
Well, that's the thing, Gary. As you said, with Rage now really making a name, when it's your debut, it's going to be memorable for you. And again, if you can handle the pressure, it sets you up well for future contests.
Exactly. I mean, Rage has proven to be a huge platform for so many fighters. I mean, we've seen great guys like Lu Long perform on here, Phil Wells, Alex Brunin, just to name a few. And, you know, some of those guys are really making waves in the pro game now.
Yes, and Andy getting his grease on now, these final moments, and you saw there the big hug. This is what it's all about, all this training, making his debut, and I've got to say he looks in great shape. He's
turned up in great nick. He's got a hell of a physique on him, both weighing in at 70 kilos, both making weight perfectly. With a name like the Bear and a name like Colossus, it's like two superheroes fighting each other, so let's hope they can turn it up a notch for us.
So Andy Bear is in the cage, ready to make his big debut here tonight, and the crowd respond to him.
He's brought a bit of a crowd with him from Bristol. Let's hope he doesn't disappoint tonight.
Just a bit of tape there, I think, for Dom Colossus from Nathan Webb, our referee, before we get this one started.
Dom actually, he had struggled to find suitable size gloves for him. He had to get an extra large size glove.
Now, Gary, the interesting thing about this one is where each man will take it. As we've mentioned before, both multiple disciplines, both got all that in their armoury. So you wonder if they're going to keep it upright or who will be the first to take it to ground. That's what excites me about this one.
Yeah, I mean, Dom, we've seen Dom crop up in the white collar game so many times, and so traditionally we see him as striking, but he claims he's got this jiu-jitsu game that he's going to take to the man and give him a lesson. So let's see.
So here we go, the first of three, and light on his feet and going straight forward, Dom. Colossus throwing the punches, lands with a hook there, trying to put Andy Bear under pressure, and he did a good job there of closing the gap quickly, and both men swinging, and then suddenly Andy Bear coming back. But Dom Colossus has really taken it to him early, and a beautiful front push kick as well.
Oh, that's fantastic work by Dom. He's got off to a great start there, clearly trying to put his mark on the fight already.
And you saw Andy Bear's reaction there was to look for the takedown, but a good sprawl by Dom Colossus there, preventing it. And I think Andy's reaction was a shock to the way that Dom started. He came out all guns blazing, everything firing, forcing Andy to try and get the takedown and to slow this down.
How do you prepare for someone who's on the get? He's on the road all the time, so such an unpredictable fighter, Dom. You never know what he's going to bring on the night. And he started off great. Oh, it's a great takedown there.
The problem for Dom is he was doing very well, and then he started to focus on throwing the right hand to the body, let the focus slip and allowed Andy to take him down, which might be a big mistake after such a confident start upright for Dom, because Andy can get to work here now.
Let's hope Dom hasn't gassed himself out by getting so busy early on.
Well, you can see him trying to buck here because he knows that Andy's in such a good position. He's got full mount, and we saw from the previous fight with Michael Robert Adamczyk that the Olympians, when they're on top, they've got that ground and pound game. Now, Dom's tucking up here, but he's giving him free rein now and almost giving his back. And Nathan, I'm sure, will be looking closely again because Dom is not liking this ground and pound.
I just wonder if Andy's starting to tire there himself. He's slowed down a little bit with the shots, but he's still in prime position there. Dom's in all sorts of trouble.
Well, you can see Dom, we talked about the jiu-jitsu background, but he's certainly not comfortable here, and suddenly switching possibly for the arm here. He's going for the back, could be for the rear naked here. Dom, beautiful escape though, and the crowd respond to that. Backwards and forwards, Gary.
This has turned out to be an excellent fight already. Dom's got himself back into it. He's thrown some good knees in there to the midsection.
You're right, those knees rocked Dom there. He took them well, but he was forced to take them. And something you mentioned earlier, both men have put so much into this, and that uppercut there, striking back. Suddenly
he's down. And Nathan Webber's called a halt to it.
Do you know what, Gary? That came after a superb right uppercut from Dom, and then the heavy leather came in from Andy Bear, and it was that second right hand, the left and right combined, and then Dom just slumped to the floor. But while it lasted, backwards and forwards, what an exciting opening round and a great finish.
What an awesome fight we just seen there. I think that uppercut landed by Dom woke Bear up, and he replied again with his own shot, and it was good night.
Well, I must say, a superb bout. We're only 2 bouts in, and that one had everything. Dom started so fast, working so hard, really put Andy under pressure, and Andy had to take him down to get a respite.
Just looking at him over in the corner there, hope everything's all right. He's still slumped down at the moment.
Now, he did survive the ground and pound. He did well, he escaped, and then got his own shot going. And as you said, possibly the best shot of the fight so far was his right uppercut, but it didn't have the response he wanted. As you said, it sort of woke Andy up, and then the response was absolutely devastating.
I mean, they both threw some good uppercuts in that little exchange, but I think Bear, he's fighting at a good weight for him. I think Dom could possibly cut down a little bit more. He'd be a lot stronger, I believe, if he's able to cut down to a lower weight category, because Andy Bear, I think the size difference, I think he's rehydrated, and he looked a beast in there tonight.
Well, he certainly was a beast, and a big debut KO win from the man from Olympians in Bristol.